friends. How are you today? Good. Can you believe it? We are on the second to the last letter of the alphabet. We've made it almost all the way through from A to Y. Y is where we're at today. So here's Y, a big Y, and a little y. And Y can make a couple different sounds. Y can make a sound like ya, like you, or yogurt. But sometimes Y can make an I kind of sound, like at the end of words, like silly, that's a Y. Or goofy, that's a Y too. All right, before we start reading our Y stories, let's sing our song so we're ready to listen. If you don't know the words, that's okay. You can follow along with your hands. So we start like this, hands together like a sandwich. Open, shut them, open, shut them, give a little clap, clap, clap. Open, shut them, open, shut them, put them in your lap, lap, lap. Good job. All right, the first story we're going to read is called Henry and the Yeti. A Yeti? Do you know what a Yeti is? Yeah, a Yeti is a big monster that may or may not live up in the mountains. So kind of like an abominable snowman. There's a Yeti you can see on the back of the book. But Yetis aren't real. Yetis are just pretend. Henry and the Yeti by Henry and the Yeti by Russell Aito. We're reading this one with permission from Bloomsbury. Henry loves Yetis. Yes, Yetis. Yet nobody knows if Yetis actually exist. Yetis, says Henry's father. Nobody actually knows. But Henry is sure that Yetis do exist, so he will go on an expedition to find one. Henry asks his principal if he can miss school to go on the expedition. Yetis, said the principal, they don't exist. This is a school announcement. Henry is going on an expedition to find a Yeti. Everybody laughs. And if you do happen to see one, says the principal, don't forget to bring back some evidence. Henry packs all the equipment he needs for the expedition. A waterproof hammock, a compass, a telescope, a climbing rope, and a camera to take pictures for evidence. Now Henry is ready. Remember, no staying up late, said Henry's father. Henry is surprised to find it's not that difficult finding the way to the mountains, but it is a long way. Out of the city, across an ocean, up a hill, over a river, and through a dense forest, all without staying up late. Until the mountains. Henry climbs up one mountain after another, searching everywhere for a Yeti. Do you think he's going to find a Yeti? Okay. All right, let's see what happens. But Henry finds nothing. There is no sign of a Yeti anywhere. Not even a suspicious-looking footprint. Henry was so sure Yetis do exist, but now he isn't so sure. Maybe he should just turn around and go right back. Should he go back? Okay. Oh! Henry sees a Yeti. The Yeti sees Henry. The Yeti is slightly bigger than Henry expects, and friendlier. Henry takes pictures of the Yeti for evidence. Then they play hide and seek. Uh-oh, what happened to the camera? It fell off his bag. Uh-oh. Now it is time for Henry to go home. Henry is surprised that it's more difficult knowing the way back. So he uses his compass to find the right way home. "Well," said Henry's father. "I didn't stay up late once," says Henry. "No," says Henry's father. "Did you see a Yeti?" "Oh, yes," said Henry. "Yetis do exist, and I've brought back evidence." Henry unpacks all the equipment: a climbing rope, a telescope, a compass, and a waterproof hammock. Wait a minute. No camera! "No camera!" says Henry. "No camera, no evidence," says Henry's father. "No evidence," says Henry. "No evidence," says the principal. "Write me 10 million lines for making things up. Yetis indeed." Everybody laughs. What can Henry do now? He's not making things up. He did see a Yeti. Yetis do exist, but nobody, except his own father, believes him. Oh! Henry sees the Yeti again. The Yeti sees Henry. The principal sees the Yeti. And everybody stops laughing. Now the principal is lying down. The Yeti gives Henry back his camera. Henry is thinking he will probably not have to write 10 million lines after all. Henry loves Yetis. Yes, Yetis. The end. Well, he found his Yeti, didn't he? All right, we're going to sing a song about yellow dandelions. So here's a dandelion. Do you see these in the winter? No. Do you see them in the fall? No. Do you see them in the spring and summer? Yes. All right, here we go. This is called Yellow Dandelions. We're going to pick some dandelions. I've been picking dandelions all the livelong day. Lovely yellow dandelions for a big yellow bouquet. Yellow as the morning sunshine, way up in the sky. Yellow as the yellow wings on a yellow butterfly. Dandelions grow, yellow as the bright sunshine. Dandelions grow, yellow as the bright sunshine. Yay! Good work. All right, let's read another story. This one is called Yum, Yum, What Fun! Our Y word is yum. It's what we say when we eat something very tasty. All right, here we go. Yum, Yum, What Fun by Mara Bergman, illustrated by Nick Malland, and we're reading this one with permission from HarperCollins. Creak, crack, creak, crack. Did anyone see who crept through the window? Long and lean and scaly green? Not Katie or James or their little dog Harry. Do you see it? You do? Clump, stump, clump, stump. Did anyone see who slumped through the window with wobbly lips and wiggly hips and a lumpity bump of a hump? Not Katie or James or their little dog Harry. Did you see what came in? What is that? A camel? Oh! Hiss, swish, hiss, swish. Did anyone see who slid through the window, slippery as slope and as slippery as soap and as skinny as rope? Not Katie or James or their little dog Harry. What came in this time? A snake. Trick, trot, trick, trot. Did anyone see who tripped through the window, neighing and braying and searching for hay? Not Katie or James or their little dog Harry. What came in? A horse. Yes, a horse of course. Crash, bash, crash, bash. Everyone saw who stormed through the window, rough and ready, big and heavy, hairy and just a little bit scary. Even Katie and James and their little dog Harry. Eee! What is it? It's a bear! Someone squeaked. What was it after? Something to eat? A crocodile, a camel, a snake, or a horse? Katie and James and their little dog Harry, of course! But the bear wanted bread. At least that's what he said. Yum, yum. Then everyone else wanted some, with butter and marmalade, honey and jam, eggs, cheese, salami, bananas, and ham. But did they ever go home? Well, yes, they certainly did. The camel left first, then the horse, croc, and snake. The big bear went last. He was searching for cake. Oh, that bear. And when they were gone, what a great relief it was, too, for Katie and James and their little dog Harry. Phew! That one is very silly. All right, we're going to do a little bit of yoga, because yoga starts with Y. So we are going to stand up and we're going to do a little yoga. All right, here we go. Let's clap it right, right, right. Let's clap it left, left, left. Let's clap it right, right, right. Let's clap it left, left. Now clap it high, clap it low. Clap behind, now clap your toes. Now clap it high, clap it low. Now bow to your partner, and here we go again. Let's clap it right, right, right. Let's clap it left, left, left. Let's clap it right, right, right. Let's clap it left, left, left. Now clap it high, clap it Okay, friends, let's read one more story. This story is called Extra Yarn. This story is about a ball of yarn, and I really like this one. It's also about a girl who does some knitting. I'd like to do some knitting too. Whoop. Extra Yarn by Mac Barnett, illustrated by John Clausen. We're reading this one with permission from HarperCollins. On a cold afternoon in a cold little town, where everywhere you looked was either white of snow or the black of soot of chimneys, Annabelle found a box filled with yarn of every color. So she went home and knit herself a sweater. And when Annabelle was done, she had some extra yarn. So she knit a sweater for Mars too. But there was still extra yarn. And when Annabelle and Mars went for a walk, Nate pointed and laughed and said, "You two look ridiculous." "You're just jealous," said Annabelle. "No, I'm not," said Nate. But it turned out he was. And even after she'd made a sweater for Nate and his dog, and for herself and for Mars, she still had extra yarn. At school, Annabelle's classmates could not stop talking about her sweater. "Quiet!" shouted Mr. Norman. "Quiet, everyone! Annabelle, that sweater of yours is a terrible distraction. I cannot teach with everyone turning around to look at you." "Then I'll knit one for everyone," Annabelle said, "so they won't have to turn around." "Impossible," said Mr. Norman. "You can't." But it turned out she could, and she did, even Mr. Norman. And when she was done, Annabelle still had, extra yarn. So she knit sweaters for her mom and her dad, and for Mr. Pendleton and Mrs. Pendleton, and for Dr. Palmer, and for little Louie. She made sweaters for everyone, except for Mr. Crabtree, who never wore sweaters or even long pants, and who would stand in his shorts with the snow up to his knees. "No sweater for me, thanks," said Mr. Crabtree. So she made Mr. Crabtree a hat. And then, even then, Annabelle still had extra yarn. She made sweaters for all of the dogs and all of the cats and for the other animals too. Soon, people thought, soon Annabelle will run out of yarn. But it turned out she didn't. So Annabelle made sweaters for things that didn't even wear sweaters. Things began to change in that little town. News spread of a remarkable girl who never ran out of yarn, and people came to visit from around the world to see all the sweaters and to shake Annabelle's hand. One day, an archduke, who was very fond of clothes, sailed across the seas and demanded to see Annabelle. Do you think he's a good guy? I don't know. "Little girl," said the Archduke, "I would like to buy that miraculous box of yarn, and I am willing to offer you $1,000,000. "No, thank you," said Annabelle, who was knitting a sweater for a pickup truck. The Archduke's mustache twitched. "Annabelle, 2,000,000, he said. Annabelle shook her head. "No, thanks." bargain, shouted the Archduke. Take it or leave it. Leave it, said Annabelle. I won't sell the yarn. And she didn't. So that night, the Archduke hired 3 robbers to break into Annabelle's house, and they stole the box and took it to the Archduke, who set off across the snow and sailed over the sea. Back to his castle. The Archduke put on his favorite song and sat in his best chair, and he took out the box, and he lifted the lid, and he looked inside. Yeah, there's no yarn. His mustache quivered. It shivered. It trembled. The Archduke hurled the box out of the window and shouted, "Little girl, I curse you with my family's curse. You will never be happy again." But here's the box. It's floating on an iceberg. Back to Annabelle. It turned out she was. The end. I like that one a lot. All right, friends, that's all the time we have for today. So we need to sing our Goodbye for Now song. So down here, I am going to play my ukulele, but up there in the corner, I'm going to do the actions. So watch me in the corner and do the actions along with me. This one is called Skin-a-ma-rink. Skin-a-ma-rinky-dinky-dink, skin-a-ma-rinky-doo, I love you. Skin-a-ma-rinky-dinky-dink, skin-a-ma-rinky-doo, I love you. I love you in the morning and in the afternoon. I love you in the evening underneath the moon. Oh, skin-a-ma-rinky-dinky-dink, skin-a-ma-rinky-doo, I love you. I love your singing. I love you. You're all terrific. I love you. I'll catch you next time. I love you. You. Boop boop be doo. Mwah! All right, friends. I'll see you again soon for letter Z. And have a good day.